Hello, welcome to Staying in Business a Decade and Beyond. This is Marla Dee, creator of the clear and simple way to get and stay organized, along with the clear and simple way to launch or grow your organizing business. The biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. That's a quote by Oprah Winfrey. And I think it describes so well that excitement, joy, passion, and amazement that we feel when we think, I'm going to get to start my own business. I'm going to get paid to do something I have loved to do my entire life. But what I'm here to talk about today is the difference between starting a business and staying in business, and what I have learned over the last 15 years, not only as a professional organizer doing the work that I love, but as a business owner. To start a business, all we need is that personal vision, that spark, that excitement that comes to us when we think, oh my goodness, I can get paid to do this. We've received some kind of message, some support, some timing going on in our life that's made us think this is the time for me to launch. We've received the resources that we need to get started, along with some basic technical skills and business knowledge, and we think, yes, I can do this. We typically have some kind of strong desire to get out there and help people and a skill to work with people. And somewhere inside, we realize that we're going to need to work very hard. This is going to be a different path than to go work for somebody else. However, what I'm going to focus on with you today is the elements that I have found it takes to stay in business. How am I going to keep that vision alive when all of the stuff gets old or heavy or hard? It's important that I really know and understand the natural growth cycle that happens out in nature and also within a business. It's really important that I know myself. What are my particular strengths, along with my challenges, and being honest about that? Because it's impossible to grow a business, much less stay in business by myself. I need a really strong support team, so we're going to talk about that today. And one of the things that I have found that doesn't get talked about enough, treat my business as a business from the very start. It's not a hobby, it's a business, and there is a difference. It's important that I know what is that area of pain that's out there in the world. What do I see? What do I notice? And what am I here to provide a solution for? And can I communicate that? I also want and need and must have help from the experts, the people who have been up there ahead of me. I can't get to where I want to go based in my own brain and my own knowledge. I need to always learn from the experts. It's also critical to stay humble and open, because I'm going to continue to be surprised and to learn. I will never get to the place where I can say I know everything that I need to know now. And lastly, I'd like to talk about the importance of having 3 streams of income over the course of the first 3 to 5 years. And I think of these as the 3 legs of the stool. By having those 3 legs, you're really steady. And when one gets weak, the others can hold it up. If I've only got one leg on that stool, there's no way I'm going to stay in business 3 years, much less a decade. So what I want to do is share the systems, the tools, and the tips that I have gleaned, that I have learned the hard way over the course of the last 15 years. And especially because for over a decade now, I have trained professional organizers who are launching their own businesses. And I've worked with them, coached them, learned from them. And so not only my own experience, but everything that I've gleaned from them has come into play in what I've put together for you today. So I hope that you really enjoy this and that you learn from it. The most important tip that I want to give you, be yourself. And I mean it. So many of us, when we launch the business, we're excited to be ourselves and to do what we love. And then by the end of the first year, we're thinking we have to be like somebody else. I have a reputation in the industry and as a business owner of being very passionate and weird. When I get up to speak or when I'm working with a client, I never really know what's going to come out of my mouth because I love this work so much. I love supporting people in clearing the clutter of their past and getting organized at last. And over the years, I've come to trust that my weirdness and my passion are some of the greatest gifts for my business. They have brought in opportunities I would have never been able to create on my own. The other thing that I like to mention here is that I crave simplicity. I have this big life, this big personality, and yet I crave a simple life. And as a consequence of that, I'm always looking for systems. I'm always looking for how can I take this and make it as simple as possible. So that craving that I have for a simple life has led to Clear and Simple being the systems expert. And that's a lot of what I'm sharing with you today. I want to share with you one of my all-time favorite tools that only came to me a year ago, and it has changed my entire life and my business. It's called the Ideal Life Vision by Ann Webb. She has been creating this tool and the system over the course of 20 years. Please go to her website, ideallifevision.com or ideallifevision.com/clear-simple, and take a look at the system. And I'm going to describe it simply here. What she has refined is an online system that will give you everything you need to write the story of what you want to create in your life over the next year. And it's done in story form so that it inspires you. You want to listen to it. You want to engage with it. It's done over the 5 major roles in your life. And then the cool part is that you record yourself reading this with music playing in the background, and then big power piece, get ready for this. You listen to this each and every day, and she gives you all the tools you need to create that masterpiece. I've never found anything else like this. It takes our old goal-setting strategy and just takes it to an amazing level. One of my favorite practical tools is the time timer. And all of these resources that I'm going to talk about, you can see on the resource page of my website, clearsimple.com/resources at any time. The time timer is the coolest tool out there that allows us to touch time. And I'm not going to go into the details here. I want you to just go to their website and check it out. What it does is it bypasses the left side of the brain, goes directly to the right, and lets you know how much time you have left by just simply looking at the section in red. It comes in a physical clock, a desktop on your computer, an app, a watch, all kinds of different forms. And what I found is this remarkable little tool is absolutely indispensable when it comes to staying focused. And as a business owner who wants to stay in business, every single day you're going to have projects like me doing this one right now where you need to stay focused, but you're going to tend to get distracted. So please take a look at the time timer. Okay, well, as we get into the thick of what it takes to stay in business, I want to introduce you to the clear and simple way. When I went out to start organizing, I realized in my first couple of clients, and by the end of my first year in business, that this was a skill. Organizing was a skill that I've come to realize only 10% of the human population have. Therefore, I needed a way to teach them how. I needed a way to share the skill. So I ended up developing what I call the ABCs of organizing. These are the clear and simple systems. See it, map it, do it, and stacks. And in your little movie here, you're going to see this sweet little card that brings these systems to life. And I just want you to know that you can find this at any time on my website, clearsimple.com. You can pull it up as a PDF and have this master map to work off of. It also comes in a really fun little half-sheet laminated card that you can order from us directly. If you are a professional organizer working with clients, I would really encourage you to look into having this particular tool, to having this language so that you can teach your clients the skill. It's going to make the work that you do a whole lot more fun. So we're going to use the clear and simple systems as we go through this presentation. The first is what I call the foundation system. It's the 3 steps that apply to any organizing project and any creative project. The 3 steps are see it, map it, do it. See it, take a look at where you've been, map it, make a plan for where you want to go, and do it, take the actions to get there. So that's what we're going to utilize in our time together today. So we're going to start out with doing a little bit of exercises, writing. You need to have you get involved in this process. I need to have you take a look at where you are at in your business. So I'm going to share with you some of my favorite see it questions, and what I'd like to invite you to do is literally just take 5 minutes right now, stop your movie, pay attention to these questions, and answer the ones that are meaningful to you. It might not be all of them. I'm going to give you 6 questions. How long have you been in business? Let's start out with the easy stuff. What has been your most significant accomplishment? And it could be anything. When I gave this presentation at the NAPO conference, a woman mentioned her most significant accomplishment was she had learned that she was a leader. So trust what comes up in you. What has been your greatest disappointment? Oftentimes, those things that don't happen the way that we think they could or should are the greatest teachers. And our disappointments are typically things we have no control over. So what has your greatest disappointment been? The next questions are, what was the spark that started it all? What was that cool thing that happened in your life that started your business, that gave you this desire to get out there and help others? Next, what is the pain that you see out there in the world that's speaking to you? This is the pain that you see with your clients. What have you noticed? So if you're a professional organizer, was it the clutter? Was it the disorganization? Was it the lack of productivity? Was it having homes that needed beauty and order restored to them? Was it business? What was the pain that you personally saw? Because that's the one you're going to address. And then what is your personal message that's helping people with the pain? And what I want you to do right now is just keep it simple. Write down what comes to you, because we'll explore this a little bit more as we go along. I want to start into the meat of this presentation by talking about the natural life cycle that's out there in the world. So nature does this beautifully. There's always a seed. For us, that shows up as the vision, this excitement over having a business. Or maybe it's just taking your business to the next level. You want to rebrand, or you want to add a product. So this natural life cycle happens over and over and over again. There's the initial vision, there's the growth, the implementation of the vision in the physical plane, and then everything comes to an end. Everything dies out when its life is complete. And sometimes just knowing that will really help us let go, because to keep trying to make something happen when it's time for it to end can not only frustrate you, but literally sabotage your business. Your business will actually grow with you. So as you change, your business will change. As you grow, your business will grow. It really is a mirror of what is going on in your own life. So one of the things that I like to recommend here, that's one of my favorite tips, is to read a book every single month. And a recommendation that was given to me that I love is read the book that your client would want you to read. What is it that your client needs you to know? just one book a month will always keep you learning, growing, and changing so that your business can grow and change also. Here are the most common traps that I see when it comes to growth and change. So whether we're right there at the beginning of you launching your business or you're now at that next cycle in your growth, these traps tend to show up. The perfection trap says, I've got to get it all just right before I can launch my business. I've got to have all my materials done and my website done, and all the words have to be perfect, and I have to be perfect before I can put my work out there. Another common one, especially in the organizing industry, is I don't know enough. I've got to be better at this. I've got to be an expert at this before I can get out there and help people. Or the other problem, I just want to help people, but I don't know how to charge for this. How do I take something that I've done my whole life and now actually have people pay me for that? Another one that I hear all the time, well, I've got to have this first, a website, whatever the heck it is. There's all kinds of things that show up. I've got to have that first before I can actually launch or before I can go to the next level. And I just have found that that is not true. People won't pay for this, will they? Well, yes, actually they will. And I just want to take a moment here to share that I never had to deal with this problem because the very first client I ever worked with, it was 3 hours. She handed me a check at the end of that session and she said, "This is the best money I have ever spent." And I have found that because I believe it's valuable, everyone I work with thinks it's valuable. The last one there, I need to change my branding or I need to change something before I can grow or launch my business. And what I want to mention to you here is trust that you have enough to get out there and do what you need to do. And I've found that I always learn from the next encounter or the next client what I need to keep going and to keep growing. Okay, we're going to just kind of have fun going through the things that happen at the first year, third year, fifth year, 7, and 9. So in that first year, the big thing is the spark, the pain, the why. So what was it that happened to you? And we talked about this just a little bit ago, but what was the particular spark that came into your life? And the first year is all about getting really crystal clear on what the pain is and what your why is. You need that clarity. You need to have a way to talk about that. So what I discovered, my spark, pain, and why were all about by the end of my first year. The pain was people didn't know where to start, what to do, or how to keep it up. And that's why I decided I needed to create the clear and simple systems. Why I needed a language that would teach them the skill. To this day, that is the main focus in my work. It is my passion. So even when I'm training organizers, I'm giving them the skill and the systems so they know where to start, what to do, and how to grow their business. Who you are in the work is just that vital piece that you will discover in your first year. So this particular picture is about one of my all-time favorite students, Claudia, in Mexico. And Organizarte is the name of her business. I probably said that terribly. But she found her passion. She came from Mexico to Salt Lake City, Utah to do a 5-day intensive training with me. She put everything that she could magically and through hard work create over the course of the first 2 years and has really grown a magnificent organizing business. And I'm so proud of her. But I love talking about her and showing her presence here because you can really see that by the end of the first year, Claudia was very clear about who she was. She shows it in a fun, colorful manner. And so her joy for design and color and snazz really comes through in everything that she does. The other piece that I like to talk about here is to get training. Don't presume to know everything that you're going to need to know to even make it past your first year. And I'm not saying that you have to spend a lot of money on training, but you need to get training. So there are a lot of resources out there like SCORE that are free, that have workshops and experts that can help you. But please know that the only way you're going to be able to stay in business is to get the training that you need, both in your field as a technician, so that you can be the best organizer you can be or business person you can be, but also as a business owner. So learn about what it takes to grow a business. Don't take that for granted. So my hope is that by the end of year one, you will know a little bit more about who you are. By the end of year one, you'll also identify and start to figure out what your niche is. But don't think you have to do that in the beginning. By year three, what I see all the time is the pain that comes from the fact that the fun factor, all that stuff that was new and exciting in your first couple years, has faded. It's not as much fun to sort people's stuff as it was in the beginning. The reality of being a business owner has really set in. You get to do everything. You get to do your books, you get to do your administration, you get to do your marketing, you get to do your client care. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of hats to wear. And I want to mention here that my best and favorite resource is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. Get that book and read that when you start out or at any time in your business, and it will save you a lot of pain. So what you really need by year three, this is a perfect time to start to create a team or get an assistant. This is when people think that, oh my gosh, I need to go out there and get a business partner. It's not typically the best time to get a business partner, but you can get another person that now comes and does that work that's just not fun for you anymore. It's also the perfect time to add a specialty, to create a workshop or a product, which is really easy and fun to do in today's world. You can create an ebook and all kinds of things. It's also a time when you can look at becoming a certified professional organizer. And I want to mention here one of my favorite specialties is the Freedom Filer. If you go to freedomfiler.com, the Freedom Filer is an all-encompassing, self-purging, low-maintenance filing system. It has everything from your daily to-dos to your financial files to your fund files to your tax archives. And it's actually designed to be self-purging. So it's what I use for 95% of my clients. And I teach a wonderful virtual Freedom Filer training and certification. So if you want to get depth and specialty on that product, you can. If you just want to use it a little bit, you can order the kits anytime on freedomfiler.com or go to my resource page. It's listed there. And really know that it's a perfect thing. If you love to do offices and paper, you can create a specialty leg in your business just around the Freedom Filer. What I discovered by the end of year three, somewhere in that time frame, was really going after the clear and simple way. So I mentioned that I created See It, Map It, Do It in stacks, and also that I realized that I was passionate about systems. Systems make things simpler. A great acronym for systems is saves you stress, time, energy, and money. So I'm going to go ahead and mention here the second of the clear and simple systems is the action system known as stacks. So we talked about See It, Map It, Do It. Take a look at where you've been, make a plan for where you want to go, then take the steps to get there. The stacks is the system just for the do it step. It stands for sort, toss, assign, contain, keep it up, and simplify. And the thing that I like to mention about stacks is it's designed to make the process of touching the stuff as simple and as fun as possible. I have heard so many people through the years mention to me from all over the world that knowing the language, knowing the step-by-step process and being guided through that, learning the skill, has really changed their experience of organizing, no matter what job they're doing. So I've come to think of it as the ABCs of organizing. And once you learn the ABCs, reading is a lot more fun. The thing that I like to mention here with stacks, remember that was sort, toss, assign, contain, keep it up, and simplify. This is designed so that you and your client are asking one question, making one decision, and taking one step at a time, rather than picking up the stuff and saying, what is it? Should I keep it or let it go? Where's it going to go? What's it going to go in? How am I going to take care of it? It's all of those multiple decisions that make the process of getting organized exhausting. So please take a look at stacks. Okay, by year 5, you have become an expert. You really have. In some area of your business, you are now an expert. And so this is the time to hone in on that. What is your true expertise? And it's also a time when people are compelled to rebrand their business. Now, I need to mention here that some people are on the fast track. And so if you're out there and you launch your business and you're working it full time from the beginning, you might hit some of these steps quicker. The years that I'm talking about are typical for people who are working their business kind of on a 3/4 time level. So usually by year 5, you start to feel this intense itch or compulsion to rebrand. And the thing that I like to talk about here when you're looking at rebranding, because you've changed a lot and so your business has changed, is just ask the question, is the new brand going to be about you or will it be about your message? And here's a couple examples of that. So one of our fabulous organizers in the industry is Lisa Montanaro. And when she first started her organizing business, I can't even tell you what the name of it was because I don't remember. Something Organizing Solutions, I think. But what she found was that everybody just kept saying, well, you need to call Lisa. You need to talk to Lisa. And her name was what got shared. And so around, I think it was year 4, she told me it was before year 5, she realized that she was going to rebrand her business and make it all about her name, Lisa Montanaro. And it has worked so well for her, going with the red, the purpose, the passion, the productivity. She's a very powerful speaker and organizer and trainer. And so it suits her and it suits her business. So it's fantastic and a viable option to go ahead and decide that you want your brand to be all about you. You could also brand your message. So a great example of this in the organizing industry is Getting Things Done, David Allen. Now, David Allen also is very well known as a person. He has a strong reputation, but he's crystal clear that the business is GTD, Getting Things Done. And much of the services and the strength and the international presence of GTD doesn't need him in order to happen. So that's a great example of branding the message. Now you can also brand both. So one of my favorite people in our industry, Barbara Hemphill, one of our gurus that's been around for over 30 years, has a very strong reputation for herself, but also has given, her whole heart and soul and money and energy through the years to the Productive Environment Institute, sorry about that, which is a very strong business. So it is possible to bring both of those together also. I remember when this choice came in front of me, I distinctly remember having a coaching session from one of my strong mentors at the time, and the little card that you see on the slide in the upper left obviously put all the focus on my name, Marla Dee. And she said, "Marla, where's clear and simple?" Well, it was on the back side of the card, clear down on the bottom in little teeny tiny fonts. And this was about the time in my business in stepping into the expert role when the universe kept giving me messages that I was going to start training other organizers. And this coach asked me the question, you really do need to decide, is the business going to be about you, Marla Dee, or is it going to be about clear and simple? And I made the decision at that time to go with clear and simple. So every single logo and branding piece that I have done since then, because I've probably gone through 3 really big rebrandings since that time, the focus is always on clear and simple. And it's definitely made a difference through time. Now, the other thing that I want to mention here when we talk about rebranding is just how exciting and simple and magical your new brand can be. So when it came time for me to look for a new brand and logo and focus on clear and simple, I've heard a lot of people through the years, especially organizers, say, "Oh, but it's going to cost me thousands of dollars and take all this time and energy to come up with a new logo and a new brand." This story talks about the fact that it doesn't have to be that way. So I didn't know what I wanted my new brand to be, but I kept getting this sense of it being a star, and I didn't know why. And one day I took a hike up into the mountains, and I came back down, and I lay down and I took a nap. And then when I woke up from my nap, I went out into my living room and I turned on some music, and the song started to play. That was one of my favorite songs. It was my favorite song growing up as a child, and it was "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." And there's a line in that song of, the star and shining light in the darkness. And I realized that that was the essence of what Clear and Simple was about. It was about shining light in the darkness. And I looked up in my window, and this star that you see in front of you was a stained glass piece hanging in my window. And I took that stained glass star into my graphic designer and I said, "This is my new logo." And it was my very joyful logo for many, many years. The fun thing I like to notice here too, in this slide that you're looking at, is that star swirl that's in the upper left was my very first logo ever that I plopped onto a business card when I had to put my first one together. So I just took it right off the computer. And then you see in the upper right, that one that I just talked about, the CS circle down on the bottom left was one of the next branding versions that we went through. And then what we're calling the sunburst or starburst in your lower right is what the current brand and logo are for Clear and Simple. And I love looking at these 4 different logos and seeing the similar energy that's in all of them. So I've always been about that star energy of shining light in the darkness, but I also like to create strong circles of support, the Clear and Simple circles. And so those are 2 of the themes that have stayed with me through time. What I discovered, as I mentioned, by year 5 was this is when you want to make sure you have another income stream. Now, I would prefer that you had 2 by this point in time and that you're deepening them. And with today's technology, you can create a second income stream at year 3 and then a third one at year 5. But it was at this point in time that I created the Professional Organizer Training Program and really went after a very strong income stream, which continues to be a part of my business to this day. So I just want to mention that once again, you are the expert by year 5. So it's great and it's valuable and it's exciting to go ahead and create an income stream that supports your expertise. I also want to mention here, for those of you who are professional organizers, that we have an amazing offering called Your Organizing Business in a Box. It's a comprehensive self-study course. It saves you all that pain, stress, and struggle of trying to figure out what to do when you get out there and work with your clients. And the reason I like sharing these two pictures is to show you that that first one on the left was the very first course that I made, and I did it all myself. I recorded it myself, I made the CDs myself, I printed everything myself. My goodness, it was so much work, but I loved it. 11 years later, it's come a long way. It's now a fabulous product, but the reason that I like showing this and talking about it is the product that I have today wouldn't be here, and it wouldn't be as fabulous as it is if I hadn't made the first one. So trust whatever you want to do when you're at this stage. Go for it. By year 7, I like to talk about this theme of the balance between busy, burnout, or broke. And here are my straightforward real-life tips to solve this problem. Only do your right work. What is the work that you're best at? What is the work that you love? With your right fit client at the right time for your body, brain, and emotions. My story here is the first job I ever did was helping a woman organize her home office. And to this day, that is my right work and my right fit client. There is nothing that pumps me up more than going into a home office or a small business's office and working with people that are passionate and on purpose, but they need systems and tools and clarity and beauty and order in their office space in order to do what they love. And at the right time for your body, brain, and emotions, what I mean by this is I function best from 9:30 a.m. up till about 3:30. And I'm no good after that. And I don't like working with clients before that because early morning is my favorite time of day to be with myself. I like working with clients on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I like to take Monday as my admin day, Wednesday is my project and writing day, and Friday is my closing of the week and client admin and all that kind of stuff day. So I've really designed my business and my work week to fit with my body and my brain and my emotions. My right fit client is also, once again, that person who wants to learn how. So teaching the skill, teaching the clear and simple way. And my excitement in my business at years 13 through 15 has been to finally put all of my product lines into digital format so I can sell my audiobook on my website, and Organizing for Kids, and Organizing Vital Docs, and our top 10 tips for paper and time, and all of those wonderful resources that people need, making them available in digital format so that it's easy to get the clear and simple message out there. The other thing I like to mention on year 7 is this is a fabulous and perfect time to take some kind of sabbatical. There's a reason that they have professors. They force them to take a sabbatical at year 7. It's critical. So I'm here to tell you that you can either do that willingly or life is going to force you to do it, which it did with me because I resisted it. So give yourself, if at all possible, a 3-month sabbatical is perfect, but at least a month. And trust me when I say this, you will come back with a fresh, new perspective, with life again. This is where we can't, go against the cycles of nature. You need a break at this point in time. There's a reason that the work week is 7 days, and then we start fresh with Monday. So you need that for your business. By year 9, 9 is a number of completion. Just think of it. There's 9 months before that baby is born. 9 in all kinds of different systems throughout the world, like feng shui, is a number of completion. So by the time you get to this point, you became your expert, you grew your 3 legs of income, you've done all kinds of things, you've rebranded yourself. So this can be a perfect time to now reach out, get a partner, and launch something brand new. Look at selling your business, or maybe this is when you decide you want to simplify your business. You've grown it beyond what you want to do at this point in time. Maybe you sell a couple of the parts of your business and you just keep one. But really look at where you're at. And if you're at year 9, what is it that really is ready to come to a close? And if you can do that consciously and with a lot of joy and power, then you'll be ready to create something new to start into that year 1 cycle again. This next thing that I want to do is just take a couple of moments and talk through some of my all-time best success tips to keep you in business through year 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and to celebrate your decade birthday. So first of all, pay yourself. Decide up front whether you're at year 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. This never goes away. What time of the month are you getting paid and how much are you getting paid? So you can decide it's a dollar amount, you can decide it's a percentage, but I have worked with so many people, and women are the worst at this, who will literally work in their business for years and not pay themselves. And this is not treating your business as a business. So you pay yourself first, you pay yourself what you're worth, and then all of the decisions that you make with your time, energy, and money that's left will be different. Get training and keep learning. I talked about that in the beginning, but it's vital to continue to get training. So at least once a year, I like to go to some major event where I'm pumped up, I get to learn new stuff, meet new people, and feel like I'm, back at the beginning of my business. I've talked about creating 3 streams of income more than once now because it really is critical to staying in business. And the last one here is to have an exit plan. Even if you don't intend to grow your business beyond yourself, it's really important to decide from the beginning what your exit plan is. When do you intend to quit doing what you're doing? One of my favorite resources is the one-page business plan. You can just go to Amazon.com, type in the one-page business plan. It's a fantastic, humorous, fabulous, valuable guide that will take you through creating a one-page business plan, which is all a lot of people need if they're in business for themselves. And it does it through humor and asking questions. It's much easier and more fun than other ways are. This next tip comes from my former coach and a man that I admire greatly, Mark LeBlanc. He's the former president of the National Speakers Association. His book and his information, Small Business Success, is the Bible that I use, so please go check him out. Growing Your Business is the name of his book. And one of the things that he talks about is your daily 3 high-value activities. So he says, ask yourself every single morning, what are the 3 actions I need to take today to create the money I want to make in my business? He calls that your optimistic number. And he suggests that you pick a number for the month, not for the year, because it's way too easy to procrastinate if it's an annual income amount. So if your monthly optimistic number is $5,000, you're going to ask yourself, what are the 3 most important actions I need to take today to create that, to book that? And what he says I have found to be true. Those 3 activities are the ones that I tend to procrastinate. And he says, make them simple, don't make them big. And he says, make them a phone call, an email, or a card. Make them all about relationships with people, connecting with people. It's not working on your website or your portfolio or anything like that. It's all about relationships. So decide what those are at the beginning of the day, write them down, and do those first. I just couldn't give you anything better than that. Please check into his material and get his book. It's the best. My other tips for staying in business a decade and beyond have a support team. And what I mean by this is every business person needs a weekly accountability partner. I will never do for myself what I will do for somebody else. That's just the reality of being human. So I have done this for at least the last 9 years of my business. I've had 4 different partners during that time. My current partner and I meet every Monday afternoon at 3:30. She lives here in Salt Lake also, so we get together at one of our favorite coffee shops or outside somewhere. We spend 1 hour, half hour each. We share what are the 3 most important things we had down for last week. Did we get them done or not, and why? And what are the 3 most important things that we need to do this week? And having that accountability in place, if it weren't for that, I would have never gotten my audiobook done. I would not still be in business without that. The second piece is get a coach and an assistant at the right time for you. I'm a big believer in having a coach at some time, even if it's just meeting with them once a month. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. And then getting an assistant, even if it's a virtual assistant, when you start feeling overwhelmed and things are falling through the cracks because you need a support team. And then lastly, have some kind of a networking group, a business one that you absolutely love going to and being a part of. Get to know them, let them get to know you, and let that be a part of your support. So there's 3 legs of your stool again that will keep you firm and growing. Okay, as we come to the end of this, remember to stay in business. We need to keep that vision alive and growing. Know the growth cycle, know yourself, have a support team, treat your business as a business, know the pain and the solution, get help from the experts, stay humble and open, and create 3 streams of income. So I'm hoping you've gotten one thing that will support you in where you're at and that you have clarity. So to end, we're going to use the map it and the do it step and talk a little bit about what you need to take the next step in your business that you're ready for. So the map it, make a plan for what you want. What are you now willing to change? What is the most important accomplishment for the remainder of this year, and make it a realistic one? And what is one area of support that you will need to make this happen? What is one area of support that you need? And for the do it step, this is all I want you to do. I want you to write down right now, what is the next action you're going to take? If you want more than that, write down what's the most important action for the next 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. But if you will write down just the next action, and when you have completed that, you send me an email to marla@clearsimple.com. I will give you a reward because I feel very strongly that needs to happen. This is all about preparing you for that next action that you need to take. I also want to mention here that I gift 2 30-minute sessions each and every week to organizers around the world, and they're absolutely free, and there's no sales involved in that. And it's all about you picking my brain, asking me anything you want to, and I'm happy to share my wisdom and my expertise. So if ever you want that, you can just go to clearsimple.com info and send me a little note, and we would be happy to get you set up. I want to end my time with you today by mentioning the gift that I am giving you and everyone in my circle and in my life this year. It's called The Art of Letting Go. It is my ebook. You can get it on any page of my website, clearsimple.com. ART stands for acceptance, release, and trust. And it's designed to support your client or yourself in getting really clear on one clutter clearing project you're ready to do, giving you the inspiration to get started, taking you through the project, and then the book ends with all of my favorite resources and experts for clearing away the clutter of your past and get organized at last. I truly hope that you have found value in our time together today. I'm so grateful, I really am, that I am celebrating my 15th year in business. And if there is any time I can be of service to you, either in helping you in your business or launch your business or coaching you through your business to grow your business or helping your clients clear away their clutter and get organized, please go to clearsimple.com and reach out and let me know how I can be helpful. And lastly, if you have any kind of a group that would love to have me come and speak, I would absolutely be thrilled to be there for you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me.